Today the loneliness birds are circling again, and there's such a when they do circle, there's such a deep sense of loneliness that words can't describe. And I wonder, where does this loneliness come from? And then I look at our society and the culture and the way it's structured, and then I like, of course, the whole infrastructure of our society is fosters loneliness. It fosters a disconnection from people. And it fosters a disconnection on a deeper level. It seems like the Western world has been successful at connecting with each other on a superficial level, whether it be from the clothes they wear, the car they drive, discussing television shows, discussing job, gossiping, talking about other people. And all these things we've become really efficient at. But it's like eating cotton candy. Yeah, you're still hungry. You've eaten something, but you're still hungry and it hasn't filled you. And then if you couple that with being unique, not being one of the sheep, one of the followers, one of the normal ones, it just only accentuates that sense of loneliness and isolation. So what do? And the internet is a great resource, but that's what I've done is I've looked to the internet to find like-minded people, because I can count on one hand, and I met thousands of people, the amount of people that have a sense of integrity, a sense of depth, have self-awareness, have a desire to give to one another, have a desire to not talk about themselves incessantly. They are open and receptive to new ideas. They're not judgmental. They have a gentle spirit. They research things before they speak about them. They're aware of what's going on in the world. They're aware of the suffering that is taking place all over the world. So they're not isolated in their little bubble, comfort bubble. They've popped that bubble and are able to see the bigger picture. There's very few people like that. They have a connection with nature. And there's just a sense of richness and vitality and life about them. And there's just so few people like that, and I wonder why. I wonder why in a world of 6 billion people, and I live in LA, in Los Angeles, where there's so many people, how hard it is to connect and how lonely it is with all the people around. And it's hard. It creates immense anguish, inner anguish, because humans are naturally social beings. We're social animals, and we need that network. And what has happened with industrialization and these mega cities, we've become in our own little bubble, and we've isolated ourselves, and we live isolated in a house where thousands of years ago or 1,000 years ago we were a community and we depended and needed each other. Now we don't need each other, and so a natural evolution of humankind, when we don't need each other and depend on each other, is to become a little more selfish, to become a little bit more greedy, we've become anonymous. So we do things because we're not held accountable anymore, like we were back, in tribal days. And I'm not saying we should go back to tribal days. That's missing the point of what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that yes, there's a lot of advantages to modern Western culture. I mean, the healthcare, our food production, we live longer. I'm saying let's also factor in the costs. What is the price that we're paying? And is there a way to still have the benefits without paying such a high price in the costs of the isolation and the loneliness? And I don't know. I think it's something that is open for discussion. But what we've been conditioned to pursue, it's like our value system has been completely skewed, turned upside down. What we should be pursuing and valuing and spending our life energy on is loving each other, cultivating relationships, creating art, beautiful art, writing, music, connecting with nature, preserving nature, helping one another, and spiritual growth and self-awareness and cultivating a sense of community. These are all the things that really is what, when we're looking at back at our lives, when it's about the time for us to die, in reflection, that's what stands out most in our memories. I imagine when someone's old. I don't imagine it's something, well, I wish I would have spent, there was this great poster I saw. It was like an inspirational poster. It says, from a doctor quoting, and it had a picture of a bed, and it says, no one on his deathbed has ever wished he spent more time in the office. And there's so much truth to that. And all the things we pursue, the cars, the homes, the years and years that we lose watching television of our lives just vanish in La La Land, with not really reaping much reward. In the end of our life, are we going to look back and go, oh my God, I wasted it all? And so I think the purpose here is, the reason we're on this earth is for love. To love, give, and receive love. And that might sound cliche, that might sound hokey, but that's what all of this extra pursuit that we do, all this hard work, all this slaving away 40, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, all this makeup that women wear, the going to the gym that the guys do, the fashions that we wear, we want to be loved. That's it. The men that get these powerful jobs, the cars they drive, we want to be approved of, we want to be loved. And the marketing, the big corporations and all the marketers and the advertisers know that and have been able to manipulate us to think, okay, we feel a void in our heart. The consumer feels a void in their heart. We're going to fill it. Buy this car, buy this cologne, buy this, buy that. Take this vacation, go here, and it will fill that void that you have. And what we find is it's a very temporary fix. It fills a void and then reawakens that angry, voracious monster of emptiness. And so then we seek it out for the next. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and we're just constantly trying to fill that void. And it's come to the point in my life is I've tried many other things to fill the void. I've tried religion, I've tried traveling, I've tried all different types of philosophies. I've tried being in relationships with people that were supposed to be the right person for me by everybody else's standards. And none of those things fill that void. None of those things are purposeful. They're just band-aids, temporary band-aids, and like addicts, we seek our next fix. And we all have our own stories of what we use to fill that void. Some people use chocolate, food, drugs, alcohol, escapism, entertainment. And I'm saying, let's get back to basics. The purpose and what really essentially fills that void is going inward. Going inward and cultivating that our spirit, and then building and nourishing and watering that. And then from there, it strengthens, and then we're able to go outward and being healthy, loving relationships. Not live in a culture where, 50% divorce rate. And I'm really looking, if there are people out there that are kind of sick and tired of the status quo and want to discuss some alternatives, and this is not like a hippie, let's all join a commune. I'm just saying we have this incredible resource, YouTube, the internet. Let's see if there's like-minded people out there that enjoy other things than, these silly little 10, 30-second clips that we watch, or this, Paris Hilton, or this escapism type entertainment. Let's see if there's something we can connect and become like a pseudo community. Thanks for listening.